Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast of the Dutch National Championships out on the Watopia Flat Course today for 5 laps, presented in partnership with KNWU as well as Zwift Community Live. Riders are just about to be getting going here out onto the flat course. We will be covering the A race in its entirety today, along with the B race for the finish of the B race after the first top 10 or so in the A category come across the finish line. Riders are lined up and ready to go. It looks like we've got 64 starters total. As far as the rules go, anyone can join the race, but the first Dutch men and Dutch women across the line in the categories will be awarded the championship for the year. And it looks like out of the 64 racers, there are quite a few Dutch flags out on course right now. And as the riders are starting to exit the pier out on to 5 laps of the flat Watopia, we can get right in to the race action here right now. And so here they go, boys and girls. We got right from the get-go 9 watts per kilogram coming at the front here with Tay Haneep, I believe it is. And I'm going to have to work on all of my Dutch names coming out of the Netherlands here for sure today. We do have Dalebout up at the front here as well, riding for the WBR team. Franken is here. It does look like Aaron's Jurns Tempelar, definitely one to watch out for today. We've seen this man win a lot of races out on course, and if Jurns pulls this off, I would not be surprised one bit. Somebody who is most likely going to be in the mix coming out of Germany, though, is going to be Philip Diner, one of the SCR race series leaders right now, and so definitely one to watch out for out on course as far as the just strictly overall. But I think Jurns Tempelar is the rider I am most familiar with when it comes to the rest of the men coming out of the Netherlands right now. 1K in, and already we have a split taking place right from the get-go out on course here. Dalebout hanging on the back here. Van der Stur as well. We've got M. Groen there, Kat there from the HIK team. We've got PVV from DNC here, Van Perplog, and it looks like it's all coming back together here. We thought immediately with that 2-second gap, I thought it was going to break up right from the get-go, but we do have, it looks like, this lead group of about 20 riders. Again, at the front, though, another attack coming from Hackman here out of the Netherlands as they head into Ocean Boulevard. I'm just going to go through a quick little reading here of what the rules are today. The first Dutch National Championships actually out on Zwift, which is pretty awesome here on this February 26, 2017. Again, the race is open to all Zwifters, regardless of the country. The first Dutch rider will be awarded the title of Virtual Dutch National Champion at the end of the race today after the 5 laps. The categories are as usual. So for the A category that we are watching right now, all of these riders should be holding 4 watts per kilogram or higher. The B category riders can hold for their FTP, now not the entire race, but for their FTP, they'll be able to hold 3.2 to 399 watts per kilogram. For the C's, 2.5 to 3.19, and for the D category, 2.49. It looks like for this race today, the power-ups are allowed at all times for the race today. So definitely these riders are going to be looking for, or have already gone out on course for their warm-up and gone through a couple of banners, looking probably for that arrow power-up being the strongest power-up out on course, especially since they're out on the flat course. They're probably not going to be super interested in having the feather power up, although the draft and power up, as you do see somebody throwing one down right there, could be useful since the pack is most likely going to be pelotoned up often out on course today. No time trial bikes are allowed out on the race in the championships today either. The other categories are doing different lap distances. So the C category, I believe, is doing 4 laps, and the D category is doing 3 laps. They're most likely likely be finished prior to us being able to actually get over to them and out of this event module. But we are in the event module right now for the A's, who are going to be holding that 4 to 5 watts per kilogram, doing 5 laps, and the B's will be finishing shortly after them. So we will be able to leave, I believe, the event module as riders cross the finish line and see the finish at least of the B categories as well. So, and then as far as the names go, a lot of the riders, you see DNC in the name there. So it is Dutch National Championships is what that is standing for in the name. Some riders have put it in, not everybody has. There's also teams out on Zwift, a lot of riders riding for teams. It looks like Van Blitz here riding for the HIK team. It does look like we've got a couple of HIKs out there on course. Actually, I did see a Vikings team rider, but a lot of HIKs looks like they're going to be definitely a force to deal with out on course. We do have Schultz here coming from the BRT team in that power tap kit that they like to wear. As you can see where my mouse is here, that is the gray, white, and orange kit out on course. I wonder if there's any other BRT boys. There actually are with Van Grondel here as well. Ripmeester coming from the HIK as well. I did see one WBR boy, and then it looks like, is this a Z-Taz up a little ways up ahead there as well? Maybe somebody to watch out for. Z-Taz tends to be pretty strong when it comes to Zwift. 186 beats per minute coming from Aaron's, and I think ZwiftPower.com should be updated fairly well at this point, so we'll be able to get an idea of who the riders are and what is going on with them. And we do see, thanks a lot, Zwift, bringing the social media integration for us. Now here, as you can see, Zwift is going to give us a really good example of how you can interact with the stream right now. If you go ahead and tweet at Zwift Community, at Z Community Live, like you see here below, like Zwift did, at Z Community Live is in charge of English broadcast of today's groundbreaking KNWU event. Follow the action here with a link probably over to their Facebook, which we are live at right now. We are also live over on Twitch, beam.pro, as well as YouTube. And you can catch the VOD of this race over on YouTube at Zwift Community Live, or you can find all of our places that we broadcast linked at ZwiftCommunityLive.com on our website. So at the front here, we do have Parmeser, it looks like, with it. And this is actually a little bit of a kick here that you can actually use to try and break things apart. It's only a 1% grade. Because it's a false flat, though, if you kick hard on this false flat, I'm not going to be surprised if we see a few attacks of that 15 seconds, 7 watts, 8 watts per kilogram at the front through this section as the riders get tired. Being a little bit earlier in the race, they're going to probably wait for a few times through the SEs. The main place out on course most likely being the SEs that the riders are really going to be looking out for any kind of breaks. They are about to take through these S-turns, and this also has a little bit of an uphill gradient. So it is a flat course, but there are a lot of places out on this course that you can do little kicks to try and break things apart. And if you can get enough of a gap and a few riders go with you, start working together with that 3, 4, 5 seconds, you can cause breaks in the peloton. But as you can see, it is a large group right now that has made the front. ZwiftPower.com here is going to help us out in just a second. Simon Esther Premium saying HIK is a Zwift race team. Het is Coors. And yeah, they sent me a whole bunch of information actually on them. It sounds like they have a website and a blog, and it's a really cool team that also has an in real life expression. I believe that they're like a club team. It really sounded like a great team that likes to get together and ride outside. Now has got an expression in Zwift. I believe if that is the same team that I was schooled on, actually, I think, with a little bit of educating Nathan Guerra going on through the social media links that were thrown at me. But thank you so much, Simon, for your interaction and letting me know over at the Zwift Facebook. All right, so live action here, updates coming from ZwiftPower.com. And it looks like at the front of this race right now, 4.4 kilometers in, and at the 4.4 marker, we had 45 racers still in the front group. We're going to wait for the update for the next ones to be coming through, but that is a huge group. And there's actually, it looks like out of the 64 that showed up, 51 have gone through in the A race. I think a few of them did not start and are just there for spectating then in the A race. Because all the way down through 48th, it looks like I'm not seeing any updates of any riders. So riders dropping out left and right, dropping like flies right now, boys and girls. And actually what's really cool that I'm seeing right now in the race today is that a lot of new riders to Zwift, or at least to Zwift Racing. You can tell if you go over to ZwiftPower.com and check out the live results for the race right now. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a little live tab that you can click, and it'll show you live updates as they go past watchers out on course that are collecting data of where people are out on course, how many watts per kilogram they put out, what their max heart rate has been that they've seen, at least during this race, as well as what they've seen in the past. Gives whether or not their age is U23, veteran, masters, junior, etc., as well as their 15 2-minute and their current watts per kilogram for the duration of the race. Pretty awesome updates over there. But I say all that to say that a bunch of riders that are in the race today are actually have blacked out names, which means they don't have any past results and aren't registered with ZwiftPower.com. So it's really great to see all these riders getting in to the game for the Dutch National Championships today. And most of them obviously are going to be coming from the Netherlands, being new riders looking to maybe throw down some crazy power and take that championship down today. Up at the front of the race today, we do have iCat, it looks like here. And I'm going to go ahead and do a quick little search on a few of the riders that have made the front group. It looks like iCat has done some races out on Zwift before. This rider, 26 races actually, total, making this front group, hanging out in this black, it looks like, what is this kit? I'm not even sure. Let's see if we can get a good shot of what this kit is. This is actually the HIK kit. Really cool to see here. They actually have their own kit in-game, so you can see all the black kits. I think this is something new, maybe recently updated. All the feather power-ups throwing down right now, and this is the point of the course that we were talking about. And as you can see, the Essies, as we look down here, this is a bunch of rolling hills that kick at like 5 to 6% gradient that are about 30 seconds to 10 seconds long each, and they're just these punchers over and over again. And if you can continue with speed, continue with power through them, they're definitely the opportunity out on course to break things apart. As you can see here, Parmentier here falling off pace. We do have T. Hanif as well. Blauner, it looks like Van Grondel as well, and Dorsman just trying to hang on. It looks like a little bit off the back here. PVV Wolf, they're going to have to really pay attention. As you see, Parmentier Pam Majir here getting right back on turns with those orange numbers, seeing that the break is about to happen. Vissers goes with him. It looks like Van Blisterveld as well is going with as well. Now they're just starting to come all back together, but I wouldn't be surprised if the elastic starts to snap from a few riders on this first lap going through the Essies. And we're really going to see at this point, I think, who has been hanging on in the pack at limit and who has been reserving a few matches and really hasn't been at threshold and has enough power to go with this. So the cream is going to start to rise to the top right now of this crop of riders out on course. As you can see, there is the front group. There's a little bit of a break happening right here, and I believe Vissers is making up the back. There is a 1 second gap right here to Vissers riding in the championships today. If we take a look at this rider real quick, it'll give us a better idea of what is happening behind here, as the Learjet there is getting back on terms with Diner as well. And if Diner's getting dropped off or having any struggle whatsoever, I think he is just sitting in and playing it smart, though, being the first lap on a flat course today. Moving backwards, then we do have Hackman now. If he does not get right back on at 193, it might be curtains at this point. It might be just slowly going away from him. If it's just jello legs at this point, he's got no more kick, I don't think. A few riders might come around him and pull this in with, it looks like Vanderplug and then Grondel, though, but the elastic is definitely slapping, and this may be the main chase group out on course amongst the A's in just a moment here. Moving forward, then at the front, it is Jens Templar, the juggernaut, the man who's won so many races out on course. But as we were speaking about Cat here, who's back at the front, we do have a few aero power-ups being thrown down at the front, maybe just looking to grab something different. I'm not sure. Maybe those riders were struggling and just trying to find a good position. But looking at this rider, iCat here, in the orange. Is he in orange here? Is he riding? No, he's in the HIK kit. So that's the rider that we're looking at right. Let's see if we can get a better shot here. Right here on the Trek Madone. And 26 races total, FTP of 341 watts. Absolutely killer. He took a second actually on the ZTR Thursday training race. Looks like he was, that was just a few days ago, maybe getting ready, getting a little intensity in the legs for this race actually. Fifth in the ZTR Tuesday night actually, just a couple days before that. A fifth on the 16th, also in the Thursday night race. So this rider looks like he's been bumping up the results, maybe looking forward to this race. And he can put out 4.77 watts per kilogram is his best for the duration of about a 40 to 50 minute race. So definitely one to be watching out for today. But I only see one W, no W's though for the rider. So what a result it would be if Cat could have his first win out on Zwift today for the HIK boys in the championships for his country. So moving forward, though, let's see who's taking up the pace at the front. It looks like run coming out of Germany, Dorsman, Smith. And I have a feeling maybe, is there going to be a little bit of a tactical thing going on here where if other country flags go off the front, let them go. Who cares? Like if they're not going to be in the championship, we'll maybe bridge to them and use that attack. But I have a feeling maybe the Dutch will be watching the Dutch today, as it's the first one across the line with that country flag that actually wins the championship today. And it looks like coming from Zwift over at if you guys are looking for Dutch commentary, actually, Zwift just tweeted out, Dutch commentary provided by Bobby Traxel and Steven Dalebout can be found here, and you can actually find that link over on Zwift's Twitter. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's actually in the Facebook. That's actually in the Facebook right now. Excuse me. So if you guys want to hear Dutch commentary, you're looking for that in the native language, you can go find that over there, I believe, on KNW's. KNWU's, the Dutch Cycling Federation's Facebook right now. They are live, boys and girls. 15 minutes in, they've got about 3.5 laps to go or so, and we do see Dorsman up at the front here, 4.1 watts per kilogram, taking up the charge. We've got some educating Nathan Guerra coming in here. This is great, actually. Absolutely awesome. About the HIK team. Oh my gosh, this is such a great picture, actually. So we were talking about ICAT. Let's go ahead and quick bring up the rest of the riders that we can talk about that are coming from this team, actually. Let's go ahead and click on the HIK. We are seeing, it looks like, in the race today, for the HIK, well, real quick, let's read this. Educating Nathan Guerra, NG, HIK, an abbreviation for Het is Kurs. I probably don't have that. Meaning the game is on in cycling terms. So that's what, maybe I'll just call them the game is on. The game is on team, boys and girls. We'll just translate it to English. It is a Flemish-Dutch saying at Z Community Live. It looks like that's the boys right there, out there doing some cyclocross style, and they're bringing it into the world of Zwift, trying to win the championship today. Great to see that from HIK, and good to see them in game today. It looks like they do have Van... whoa, okay, we just got an update. So real quick here, we do have from the HIK team, Van, let's see if I can get this name correct. Bijterveld, excuse me if I, that's why there's Dutch commentary going on over on KNWU's. But looks like he took a fifth as of recently, coming from the HIK team, as well as a first actually in the WBR 1 flat lap race. Absolutely killer all-out sprint, looks like. Does have a W. Did take a fourth and a win as well in the 1 flat lap on all in February, actually. So he's been ramping up towards this race, it looks like, and he is hanging out in the lead group still here, as we do look over here at this HIK rider as well. So has stuck it in here, but it looks like the WBR rider, Jurns Tempelaar, now making his way to the front. And if I would pick a favorite out there today, it would be Mr. Tempelaar. Jurns, absolutely one of the strongest riders I've ever seen out on Zwift. So definitely one to watch out for, boys and girls. And as things do get whittled down, we'll be looking for your predictions. And if you'd like to make your predictions, make sure to do at Z Community Live over on Twitter, and I will definitely show them. Let me know who you think is going to win the championship today. Now it looks like there is a little bit of a split now with Cannon in now a little ways. Now it's not quite a split, but it's definitely getting into those moments where the group is stringing out and those riders are just looking for the wheel right in front of them. Nobody is soft pedaling except for, it looks like, a little bit of the group up front, but everybody behind in the dust there now choking on it, and looks like they were falling off a little bit. But now at the front at 3.6, everybody's going to start holding hands again. Aarons, Dorsman, Franken has made it. Looks like Vissers is there as well. T. Hennepy as well has made it. Looking from the top view, we do have a few others. Looks like a TFC rider actually in and amongst the pack. I'm not sure if he's actually racing, but Nosa is there coming from Japan, has made it in there. P. Wolf as well. Looks like Van Grondel still hanging tough. Dorsman, Pomagier, and then it is Vanderster in the group. Moving back still, it is still a large group actually. Dalebout is in there. I guess Pete Dalebout then, some sort of a relation to Steven, who is doing the commentary, I would assume, over at KNWU's Facebook as well. Still moving back, we're going to see what's happening with the main chase group. We actually can't see them, so there's a big, it looks like a pretty big gap now at this point to the main chase group out on course today. Looking through then, it is going to be 25 so far who have made the lead group. 25, and they're going to want to keep on whittling it down. And Zwift letting us know that the race, Alexander Pavlov asking, how long is the race distance? So, Zwift, thank you so much for answering that. And it is 51.5 kilometers long, 5 fast laps, Watopia flat. Right on. Right. And very cool to see and Alexander hanging out there, buddy. And 5 fast laps. They're 15.7K total in right now. They'll most likely then be finishing, I would think, a little over an hour. With 5 laps, it does take them, I believe it is right around 15 plus minutes to finish these laps. So definitely going to be finishing in over an hour tonight. It's probably going to be about an hour 15 or so, hour 12, hour 15 for the winning time, and it looks like it is back Grupo Compacto. But as we said, these little uphills through these S-turns tend to be a spot where people can bump it up into that 6-7 watts per kilogram and try and create a little bit of mayhem for those who are hanging on the back. And as we kind of have to look through some of the heart rates here, 174 coming from Dorsman. And Dorsman, let's see here, as far as Dorsman's heart rate goes, he maxes out at, we have a mistake there at 240. I do not believe that was probably a mistake coming from his heart rate meter. But Dorsman here has 11 races. He took a bronze actually, got an upgrade to the A's as of recently on the 21st actually. He actually upgraded all the way from the C category. This boy's been getting stronger and stronger, put out 4.68 watts per kilogram in the last race that he did, with a third in the B category. So he's looking for the W right now in the A's, it looks like. And maybe he did race with the A's and just happened to have a B in his name still. But I think he maxes out, it looks like, right around 195 or so. Sitting at 172. He's right around threshold, maybe a high tempo effort right now. So definitely trying to sit comfortable within the pack. But if we look forward to some of the riders that are maybe the favorites here, 159, 160 actually come from Templar. So Templar actually really putting out a pretty serious effort still at this point for the kind of rider that he is. We've seen 180 beats per minute max for him. So definitely this race has definitely been crazy fast so far with the kind of stress that we're seeing on all the riders at this point, pushing out 5 watts per kilogram or so at the front. Bastian Gaillard is saying, great, Nathan, keep an eye on the HIK boys, doing a great job there. Will do, Bastian, for sure. It's a lot of fun, and I really appreciate those guys educating me on what's going on with the HIK. So Jens Templar, the rider that we do we are locked on right now as we do go through the Italian village. Let's get some good shots here of the WBR rider if we can from his first person point of view here as he rides through the pack and makes his way to the front at 4.6, 4.5 watts per kilogram. Jens Templar with that Tron bike riding for the WBR. Strong like bull they are with those Buffalo bikes. And we do have a prediction here coming from Jonathan Noblet, actually thinking that it is going to be Ernst that will be able able to win the championships today. Here's a real-life pick, actually, of Mr. Templar. Here's Templar for the win in the Go Zwift Dutch Nationals at KNWU at Z Community Live. And there's a nice shot of Jens. He's been doing some real-life racing and training like a maniac out in the real world, but I definitely have seen him, as of recently as it got into the colder months, jumping back into Zwift and grabbing some W's. Brett Boniface himself, one of the stronger riders out on Zwift, coming out of Vancouver, was telling me that him and Templar are going back and forth on Box Hill recently out on the London course. So I believe that Templar definitely has some good legs and might be able to pull this off. It looks like he's playing a really smart race, and I wouldn't be surprised if KC and quite a few others from the WBR right now are in his ear in the team car over at a Discord channel or somewhere, giving him information on the rest of the riders is exactly what he needs to be doing at all these points in the race. We do see the kick now coming from the start of the SE's 5% gradient up into those orange numbers, 7, 8, 9 watts per kilogram. Templar now kicking it looks like, and Dalebout as well. A few falling off, just barely. P-Wolf's hanging on, it looks like Vanderster as well. And this is the thing, because of the flat course, the riders are going to have that little bit of extra match every time because they're sitting in, so they can allow those glycogen stores, and they can allow that lactate to kind of dissipate. The ATP can really build up, and then bam, they can kick, and they can kick, and they can kick. And as long as you can kick for that 30 seconds, you probably will be able to hang on. But if they get continuance going in, that's what we're seeing at the front of the race now. These boys did not have the kind of continuance and not the kind of kick that we saw going over that 5% gradient, and now it is Dalebout with the aero power up, making sure that the speed stays high when the elastic snaps, and now it looks like it's whittling down, boys and girls. This is a moment of truth out on course. 24 minutes in, there's a little less than an hour left of racing. At the 19.5 kilometer mark, it looks like Templar, Cat, Pavager, Dalebout are going. It looks like Sterveld as well as Diner, or Smith, Dorsman is going. It looks like Diner has made it. Franken has made it as well. Nosa, iCat, they've all made it. Wolf there, but then it looks like Rung just barely hanging on. 174 beats per minute, right on the edge. Looking over at ZwiftPower.com, Rung, actually a first-time racer out on Zwift. Do not have any past information for him. The highest heart rate we've seen from him so far from all the watchers is 167. He's at 175, boys and girls, so definitely throwing down some serious wattage right now just to hang on. And it looks like 9 seconds off the back. The next split has happened, and it looks like we're probably going to have about 15 to 20 riders maybe at the front in this lead pack now. It's whittled down every time they come through the SEs. That's the place out on course to make things happen today. Pamager, Smith, Aarons at the front now taking up the charge and really they were turned to screws, now starting to back down, and it's time to hold hands a little bit as it flattens out. They've got the 11-second gap. It's probably not going to come back unless there's somebody who's got some crazy strength and an aero power up and goes absolutely bonkers into like 8 watts per kilogram for 15 to 30 seconds. They may be able to bridge back up to that lead group, but a lead group like that is going to be traveling at crazy kilometers per hour. We do have 51 right now, and we do see 51 with this group as well, so they may be able to close it down. The riders up front are starting to back off a little bit at 180 beats per minute and 4 to 5 watts per kilogram. Aarons is probably feeling that effort right now. We do not have any past information coming from Aarons, actually. He is 181 beats per minute is the highest we've seen from him out on course. He's a junior rider, but he definitely has not raced out on Zwift before, as far as what ZwiftPower.com is telling us. We are seeing, it looks like, coming from Go WBR, racing well. Jurns, Stephen Tweed cheering on the WBR rider. The two HIK riders in the front are Jos van Bischerveld and Eid Kat, for your reference, Nathan. Thank you so much, Bastion. I appreciate it very much. We did take a look at Eid Kat, actually, and his history, but we did not look at Van at all, Jos Van, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that. It looks like this may be a rider to watch out for today. He took a win in the WBR 1 flat lap on the 17th. He took a 4th in the WBR flat lap on the 13th. Looks like he had a 5th place in the 4-lap WBR. Likes to do a lot of WBR rides, it looks like, and has put out some serious wattages. He can do to over 4.0, it looks like 4.4, 4.5 or so for the duration of these Zwift races. So a rider definitely to watch out for today, it looks like, would be the HIK rider. We can start taking your predictions in as we're starting to whittle down here. We do have a lead group now at this point. As I get the current live, and let's take a look here. Amongst the current front runners, we do have, it looks like, Vissers all the way through to Grondel. Has he made it? I think Templar. So 16 riders at the front. Not of these 16 riders, we've got Vissers, Rung, coming out of Germany though, so cannot win the championship. Cannon also cannot win the championship. It looks like Chemo Cannon coming out of Finland cannot win the championship. Can win the race outright today. And Osa out of Japan cannot win it either. And Philip Diner has made it as well, riding for Severe Coaching. But in the lead group now, it is a lot of judge. It looks like Vissers, Pamager, Dorsman's made it now still. Wolf, Franken, Delbout is in there as well. Arsmit, Icat, Jos Van Bisterveld, as well as Van der Plug. And then it looks like Björn's Templar, who I've called out as a favorite, has also made that lead group. It is 15 seconds back. They can still close this down if these riders up front just kind of look at each other and do not work with this breakaway that has formed. It looks like they are not allowing that to happen, though, with Rung here pulling a solid 167 beats per minute currently at the front. The Japanese rider now seeing maybe that the riders are coming back. 122 beats per minute at 4.5, though. Maybe a malfunction in the heart rate monitor, or maybe a very, very low Mark's heart rate. Otherwise, maybe a miscalibration. We'll have to see what's going on with that. Dorsman now, it looks like here, hammering away in that TFC kit. So is he actually riding for the TFC, or does he just like the CRCA? I wonder. He does not have TFC in the name, but definitely riding, it looks like, for out of the Netherlands, and can win the championship today. I believe we did look at some of the stats for this rider. Yeah, so Stefan, he does not have an attachment to TFC that I can see, maybe a recent recruitment. I'll have to look over at Beam, as I most likely have a couple of TFC riders maybe over at the Beam channel watching right now. Stonsholm's cheering for JT as well. And Stormstorm saying in 5 minutes that field is half the size over at Beam. So Steel Bike spotted and 1W. So hello from Poland. How's it going, Sebastian? Good to see you. Morning, folks. It says Lee Pink. Good to see you. Some were not wearing a helmet. No, in the virtual world, I think they can get away with the old school rules and not wear a helmet if they don't want to, according to the UCI. Of course. I don't know if the UCI actually, I'm pretty sure UCI has no bearing right here, but yes, many in the virtual world are not wearing the helmet. Missed the start, but this is very exciting. Nice commentary. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Michelle. Mikhail Kirill. Good to see you over at the Facebook as well. This is one of the spots that you can definitely make a break because of the there's this gradient of 3.3% coming out of the underground. As you can take a look here from the helicopter, they come out of the water here and they go right into this dirt path that you can see where my cursor is here at the bottom. So they kick it into like 6 watts per kilogram, and then if you have continuance and you can continue past, get a little bit of break because of that uphill, because watts per kilogram really start to matter at that point as riders try and climb out, and then you hit this dust part and the riders can't see whether or not they have a wheel, and so dust just starts flying everywhere and you just try and hang on at that point if you're no longer a part of the group. It looks like Nosa now having a dropout going out of the race. We'll give him a ride on. Hopefully he can get back with them, but I don't think he's going to see those boys again with that dropout. Templar now at the front here, keeping the pace super high, 162 with about 20 beats to work with. Dorsman's there as well. Rung, now it looks like they have whittled it down by a few more, and I think we're down to just like 15 riders or so now at this point. The Mig Cycling, good to see you. Great commentary, Nathan. Did the KISS 100 race earlier and now covering this one. Yeah, we had a good race in the KISS 100. It was a great workout. Had a lot of fun doing it. Great job to everybody in the KISS 100 just a couple hours ago. Send your prediction tweets to @ZCommunityLive. Listen to Johnny Noblet. He's got a good idea. Let's hear your predictions as these boys have been whittled down, and I'm going to read them out now to you. From the thanks to ZwiftPower.com, Dorsman, Templar, Cat, Van Bisterveld, as well as Vanderplug, Diner, Franken, Schmidt, and Wolf. It looks like Cannon is still in there as well. Dalebout and Pamagier. I think Aarons has made it in this lead group as well. So there is all of the leaders. Amongst the Dutch, though, let's see who might be able to pull it off. Who's going to win the championship today? This rider I have not actually taken a look at as far as their past results, Franken. Let's see who this rider is, what they've been up to. 32 races riding for the BRT team, as you can see in that Power Tap kit that he's in, that gray, orange, and white kit. 323 watts is his FTP, coming out of the Netherlands, and 11th, 6th, and a 4th the last 3 races that he's taken. Looks like he's always in that top 10 or so, but not quite able to hit that podium, so maybe he can throw down here. He is able to throw down for about 4.4 or so for the duration of the race, so maybe be able to play his cards correctly out here today and grab a W. Maybe unable to maybe throw down in those sprints. Not sure what's holding him back. That's some serious wattage that he can throw down. I have a feeling that maybe when it comes to go time, when it's into that 8-9 watts per kilogram, when people are throwing down the crazy efforts for the brakes, those are the moments that really matter. Those micro burst type efforts that really matter to make the wins out there. Now Franken, though, really positioning himself well, it looks like, out on the flat Watopia course as they're about to head into the next time through the Essies, where we've really seen things break apart. We'll most likely have another whittling down, and now they're just going to do these S turns. As you can see here, there is a little bit of an uphill gradient. It does about 4.1% or so, 1.2%, so they are going to have a little bit of extra work at the front. Now, if you are new to Zwift, you're not sure what is going on in front of you, there might be some of you who are out there that are completely new to the world of massive multiplayer online indoor cycling made social. So right now, these riders, Dorsman here, we can see, looking at zwiftpower.com, he's on a smart trainer right now, according to zwiftpower.com, which is communicating to the game through his actual bike. So he's on a real bike at his house or wherever that smart trainer is located that is connected to a trainer that's called a smart trainer that communicates the amount of power in wattages, which is an actual verifiable actual measurement of power, like you would lift weights with pounds or kilograms. I lift 50 pounds, I lift 50 kilograms, I know how strong I am. The same kind of thing. It's a verifiable set of data for a power measurement in watts, and right now Dorsman putting out 263 watts, 317 watts, has a heart rate of 171, and all that information is being communicated from his bike and from his heart rate monitor through an ANT plus signal that's coming out of either a smart trainer. I know for sure that this rider's on a smart trainer because zwiftpower.com is telling me through the watchers that he is. Some of the riders will be on a strain gauge power meter, an actual power meter that's either in their hub, their crank, might be in their bottom bracket, it might be it might be in their pedals. There's all kinds of power meters that are out there, and then, or there might be on Z Power. The riders who are on Z Power, as you can see here, there is one rider that is using a speed sensor on a verified trainer in order to calculate the power that they are maybe producing according to the speed that they're producing on that speed sensor. It's a lot less accurate. They do get it fairly close, probably within like 10% or so, but that is a fairly big buff. So a lot of times in these races, riders are unable to win on Z-Power. I didn't see anything in the race rules or information on whether or not Z-Power winners can ride, but that will be up to the race officials after the race to judge how accurate everything is, as there are some qualifications that people need to make, especially when it comes to Z Power. But those are the ways that you are able to communicate with the game, the actual power you're putting out from real bikes. And they can use any bike, so it's not like you need to buy a special bike. Any bike that you can put on a trainer, with those kinds of power sources being communicated through an ANT plus signal to your computer through a little USB stick that's called an ANT plus dongle. That thing goes into your computer and picks up that signal from the room where you are pedaling, and bam, you are in the game when you log in and start pedaling away these watts right now. They're being picked up from Jurns Templar's smart trainer or power meter right now. So that's what's going on in here. All these riders are drafting on each other. Draft does work in the game. The ones who are on smart trainers are feeling the gradient as they go uphill. Now watts are watts, so going uphill is going to be the same for those who are on the smart trainers as far as those who are on the smart trainers, as well as the strain gauge power meters. Watts are watts, so at 7.8 watts per kilogram right now, 510 watts strain gauge power meter. Regardless of whether or not you get the cool experience of the ups and downs, watts are watts, boys and girls, and if you got to produce them, you got to produce them to get that body weight that you've put in up the hill. Our Smith here, 9.0 watts per kilogram. This is a serious effort through the SEs. Now, this is the point out on course that we've been talking about where it starts to break up, and it is a 51K race. There's about 21K to go at this point, and Smith is trying to turn to screws at the front. Cat has made it from HIK. Run is still made it as well. Wolf is there. Cannon is off the back a little bit. Now Pamashir is made off the back. It looks like the HIK rider, Bishterveld, is maybe going off the back at this point. 6.3 watts per kilogram. Luckily, he had that arrow power up, the strongest power up in game, actually. Every time you go through a start-finish banner, a sprint banner, or a KOM banner, you do get a chance at grabbing a power-up. Actually, if you were looking at my screen, so you see my cursor here, and you see where the flat Watopia course up here is, that you see the actual course profile, right there is where you would see my power-up, or these riders' power-up, if you had their first-person point of view. And there's a little thing that clicks through like a roulette when you go underneath a banner, and at that point, it will give you either a feather power-up, a drafting power-up, or an arrow power-up, or you might get unlucky if you're in a race and get an experience one, which just boosts your experience in game so you can get new stuff and get to a higher level. And not exactly what you're looking for most of the time in races. Then the RNG is definitely not in your favor. The arrow power-up reduces the drag on your avatar for 30 seconds. The strongest one by far, because you can up that speed so much out on course. And actually the one place where things tend to not really to tend to grupo compacto a little bit more, which is downhills and flats, start to become a place where you can attack if you do have an arrow power-up. The feather is the next strongest one. 15 seconds lowers your weight by 1 watt per kilogram, so you essentially gain 1 watt per kilogram when you're kicking up the uphills with that feather power-up for that 15 seconds. Then the drafting boost is kind of the counter to both those, mainly though to the arrow power-up, where it increases your ability to draft on other riders around you for 30 seconds. And so sometimes you can use that as a counter to an arrow as people try and get away from you and sit in their draft at a crazy high speed and go with the brake. There used to be a burrito. They got rid of it. The breakaway burrito, it does still click through, and people have been wondering where that's at. I say bring the burrito back. It was one of my favorite, but it makes it so that people cannot draft on you at all for the duration of that power-up, which would be a great thing to use for breaking away, but not having to attack like a maniac maybe for the breakaway. So it looks like now we do have a few of looks like we do have a few at Z Community Lives coming through right now. Oh, this is awesome to see. Canyon Tram giving us a little bit of a shout out here with some integration here. Good to see women cycling out on the broadcast right now. Canyon Tram Racing saying innovation and excitement overload. Tune in now for the first Go Zwift at Z Community Live National Championships. Thanks so much for the tweet, Canyon Tram. Good to see that you're tuning in. It was great hanging out with you guys over at the Tour of California a little while back, and I hope your season is going really, really well. We've been following as Leah is getting into the pro peloton. Really cool to see that. And hi to all the girls. Good to see you guys tuning in, girls and gals tuning in. So it looks like the Dutch will win, Jaco is saying, and Stephen tweeted about halfway through. Yep, finish line is at 51.5K. And so the ETA is most likely in about, the finish will most likely come in about, I would say 30 minutes. I think we got about 30-ish minutes of racing to go. They're down 3 of 5 laps at this point. They take about 15 minutes to close it to finish up these laps. So I have a feeling it's going to be about 15 minutes as they make their way into their 4th lap right now out on course. And it looks like as they came through, there's still 14 riders at the front of the race. Aaron's is there, Dorsman, Templar's made it as well, Franken, Cannon is there, Pamager, and then it is Van Biesterveld. I always get that one. Smith, Wolf, Cat, Diner is there, Dalebout, and Vanderplug has made it as well. One rider we have not talked about, actually, is going to be Freddie. Vanderplug, actually, 14 races. And let's see if we can find Freddie. There he is. Who is he riding for? I just seen his avatar just a moment there, and then he escaped me. He's being sneaky out here amongst the peloton, hiding really well, it looks like. Do we have an attack, though? Here we go on the downhill, actually. Wait before we find Freddie. What's going on with 6 watts per kilogram off the front, 165 beats per minute coming from Pomagier? Maybe trying to get away now as this rider, one of the riders to watch out for, unattached, 182 beats per minute. And this boy, Keith Pomagier, won race in the past, and he won it. So maybe a rider who is kind of flying under the radar for Zwift, and 4.21 watts per kilogram with the win in the Ottawa Top Speed Race, 37-mile race, 60K. So definitely one who can last the duration here of the race with some power. We've seen 338-watt average coming from him. He maxed out at 182 beats per minute. So maybe a rider to watch out for. And he's actually in his Strava profile, got his hands in the air for a win, it looks like, in some sort of a race. It looks like it was cresting something. FTP of 358. So look out for this rider. Maybe showing up for the one-day win out in the Dutch National Championships. Templar and the rest maybe having their work cut out for them against this rider who was attacking on that downhill but didn't get anywhere with that, as the downhills are definitely a difficult place to make that happen. Now, Freddie, though, we were talking about Freddie Van der Pug here, and where did he go? Is he still hiding in the pack? Here he is, hammered away here, 4.1 watts per kilogram. The Go-Go Power Rangers has 14 races, 7th, 4th, 6th, 10th, and a 4th. So a lot of solid rides coming from him. Averaging 155 beats per minute, and that's actually pretty high for him. Being a veteran racer, I believe. Let me go ahead and see here real quick just to make sure I don't get that incorrect. But I believe riding 450 plus, actually. So definitely going to have a little bit lower heart rate for a max. So he's hammering right now to hang on in this group. Dorsman now making his way to the front, 176, 175 beats per minute right now. And thanks a lot, Zwift. I appreciate it. Top job, Nathan. Ride on, Zwift. Appreciate it very much. 18 kilometers to go. Exiting, and Bastion is saying, and I know Bastion's cheering for the HIK team, that's for sure. And speaking of them, making their way to the front now, 3% gradient. This is that point that we talked about. Exiting now the underground. We're going to see them hit this dirt section. And looking at the riders there, they're up and out of the saddle, boys and girls. There's an actual attack taking place, it looks like, as Dorsman makes way to the front. They were up and out of the saddle, a little bit of a sprint. And we saw those avatars standing up. It looks like Diner now off the back out of Germany, a rider I would not expect to be falling off from this pace, but this has been crazy fast. And now making his way to the front, it is going to be the wrong, actually Diner now with the attack, in that what has been labeled almost the Z-Taz kid, as we've seen him so many times. Now exiting from the cloud of craziness, we can see it is going to be Rung, the German rider, 4.1 watts per kilogram. Nobody falling off just yet, but you know, you can see Frank and Pomagier here. They are suffering a little bit at the back. It looks like 170 beats per minute, just looking for a wheel. The Finnish rider now sees an opportunity and is going 4.4 watts per kilogram, and nobody closing it down just yet. Templar now looks like, this is an odd move almost, satisfied just to set a steady pace to close this down at the front rather than maybe let it go and then bridge. He wants, it looks like, maybe a sprint out on course, and is keeping everything together. Now, I don't see any other WBR. Actually, there is one other WBR in the race, Dalebout. And maybe Templar is working for Dalebout. That's one rider we haven't talked about just yet. Here's Templar, but his teammate Dalebout now 1 second back at this point. And Paul, maybe the one to watch out for. We do see 173 beats per minute right now coming from Dalebout. And let's see how he is faring. 196. So he's got about 20 beats to work with out here. Dalebout, though, coming out with another one, 67 races. And we do see him in his Strava profile. What a great pick there, up at the top of some mountain climb, it looks like. 2nd, 1st, 5th, gold, gold, gold. You want to watch out for a rider. This is the one coming from the WBR. I think Templar is playing the domestique today, looking for the win for Mr. Dalebout out on course today. We'll see if he can pull it off, though, as we do see Ernst now right next to him. There's his teammate giving the wheel to Mr. Dalebout, and I believe that is what is happening right now. It's going to be domestique maybe for Dalebout. Maybe they're going to just play back and forth, though. I may be incorrect about that. Templar maybe taking up the front, closing it down. Maybe they're communicating, saying, hey, I got a few legs right now. I'm going to take this one. Dalebout sitting in, and then going to take the next one, sitting at the back. 175 beats per minute. Templar there, 157. Has a little bit more to work with, though, so maybe the rider that just has more energy in the legs right now. Lap and a half to go, boys and girls. We're about to hit that bell lap. 46 minutes in to the Dutch National Championships. I believe I got that right. Am I right? Yes, I'm right. So we're about to hit the Essies here in just a moment. 46:26 into this ride. 37 kilometers total right now. So, and it is a 51 kilometer race. It looks like everyone's starting to hold hands a little bit. It's kind of getting to that point where who's gonna kick? A lot of the stores, a lot of that energy stores will be already gone. A lot of people have been burned, a lot of matches now, and now is when you're gonna start seeing those attacks over and over again, I think, as people rest up and then kick again, rest up and kick again. You wanna talk about how hard these boys have gone so far at the front of this race. 4.5 watts per kilogram coming from Cannon, 4.9 coming from Templar, 5.5 from Aaron's. We're seeing 5.0 from Frank Endorsement, 5.1. Man, these boys have been just killing it. Diner, 5.3. I mean, this is a crazy fast race right now out on course. Amongst the B riders, we haven't talked about them at all, but they are definitely out on course still, and they are about 335 back from the front of the A's right now. And we do see Bimold, it looks like, with Pike and then Lennartz out of Belgium. Olsard is there as well. B Ryder, it looks like V Hugo from the WBR has made the front group. M Visser has made the front group. John as well from riding in the DNC. Van de Besselaar, it looks like Witveen, as well as Agros, Luge, and De Buren. Make sure I want to highlight all these boys. It's actually, man, you guys, this is like, I'm not going to read them all out because there's actually 39, maybe not 39, excuse me, 29 riders, I think it is, in the lead group in the B race right now. So there is a huge lead group in the B race. So we're going to be watching for a big sprint coming in after the A riders come in for their finish after this last lap. We're about to hit the bell lap. Maybe one more kick here coming in just a moment, but it looks like they're trying to test the legs at the front to hit the Italian Village out on course here. So here they come past the new fountain that was just developed with the mountain. I'm sorry, not with the mountain, but with the volcano route. And looking from the HIK rider's point of view here, Jos van Wisterveld, it looks like hanging at the back, trying to rest up. 161 Diner now with a 1 second difference between the front and the back here, but they are all pelotoned up, and they're going to be looking. I'm not going to be surprised if we see a few power-ups thrown down in just a moment here as they cross this sprint line, as they're probably going to be looking for the best RNG they can possibly get. When I say RNG, I mean random numbers game out on course here, looking for a solid roulette, as Dorsman here hits 3.9 watts per kilogram at the front. Now, the Joss now 4.0, 164. This is going to be it right here as they cross the bridge. They're all thinking about, there's a little bit of jitter, a little bit of excitement that starts to come in, and there's a little bit of a preparation you go through when you're about to hit this section of the course, because it gets super crazy fast. Now, in just a moment, we're going to see the 5, 6, 7, 8 watts per kilogram. There it is, Templar now, and he's not holding back. We did see him hold back a few times over this section of the course, but it looks like he is starting to really kick it up now as we look at the 5% gradient. They are kicking over the top. Franken now. Diner. Dalebout, WBR making it. It looks like the only one falling off a little bit would be Wolf. We do see him at the back there, as well as it looks like Jos Bistervald, and it looks like he is just going to hang on with that arrow power-up. A few other arrow power-ups being thrown down, but now it is Dorsman in that TFC kit now throwing down an arrow, trying to bring the speed up, it looks like, as you can see right here, but it's not much going anywhere here. 188 beats per minute now. Really is throwing that heart rate high. Now, this may be a moment of truth now. I think the heart rates are high enough that these riders can really start to attack now. We're seeing 6 watts per kilogram through a lot of these other kicks, 51 kilometers per hour, and Wolf now struggling to hang on. It looks like 1 second off the back, 4.2 watts per kilogram, just barely hanging on. But if the gap goes out, and right now he will see, close the gap on his screen. The game actually will tell you if you're not getting a draft and if it's going away from you, and it looks like he's just barely able to hang on here at this point. Moving forward now, Templar, the the rider we've been talking about this whole time, following Dorsman's wheel very closely. It is going out a little bit to Dorsman here, 188, 187. This is a serious attack as they're about to hit the bell lap out on course, and they want to whittle it down a little more. They see weakness in the legs here from Kay Palmagier, and it looks like Franken now as well. Cannon, they're leaving the group, and they're starting to fade away from them, and at this point, you've got to close it. It's a game of meters, though, and he's back in on terms. Will the finish rider be able to do it? It is 1 second, 6.3 watts per kilogram, 176 beats per minute, and he does max out at, it looks like 182 new max heart rate. Oh, I'm sorry, no, 176. I thought it was 186, excuse me. So he's got a few beats to work with yet. Gets back on terms. Franken, though, looks like he has gone out, and now the BRT rider, if he's riding for BRT, or maybe he just has a power tap, it looks like, and 2 seconds out, I think it's gone unless he can close it down now. He has to do it right now, but they may have whittled it down by 1, now 1.4, and yep, it looks like GG, and I had that happen to me in the KISS 100 race just a moment ago. You go over a climb, if they go out just a little bit forward from you, boys and girls, 2 seconds can become 10 in a matter of 30 seconds, in a matter of a minute. It's all over, boys and girls. And looks like Franken now fading to 1.7, probably maxed it out, and looks like he's going to just have to hold on in TT land for the last bell lap to hold off any chasers and hold on to a top 20 position in the Dutch National Championships. Now the bell lap is about to ding, boys and girls, and it is going to be 1 lap to go right now in the Dutch National Championships. Who's going to be crowned the winner for 2017 in the inaugural, first time ever, virtual World Championships the National Championships, fastest Dutch rider virtually in the world for this race today. Diner now, Templar, Palmagier, all there. It looks like iCat has made it still as well. Renz, Schmidt, Dorsman, Wolf, and then Franken off the back by 11 seconds. Biting the dust, it looks like not going to make the lead group. They're about to take that left-hand turn onto Ocean Boulevard, and I have a feeling it's going to be Grupo Compacto until they hit that 3.3% gradient that we know so well so far. And, of course, Kevin from WVR, I wonder who he's going to vote for. Right? Coming from WBR, boys and girls, I vote JT. And I'd have to, I'm going to leave it up to you guys to make the tally. I would say he's a favorite out there today. Final lap, who do you think wins, Swift says. And Kevin, great, Nathan. Go, great broadcast, Nathan. Go, Ernst. And don't write off Paul. Race WBR, so I wouldn't write him off either. Matt Ray there with the Buffalo. He's even got the Buffalo bike Facebook profile. Man, that's awesome commitment. These WBRs, boys, they are a serious crowd. I just had to race Coupe in the 100K, man. Those guys are serious business, that's for sure. So here we go now. Dorsman, Templar, holding hands. They're all Grupo Compacto. Who's going to be the first to kick? Do we have a taker? I don't think we're going to see anybody going until we hit that 3.3% gradient uphill. Simon Esther now saying it's actually going to be iCat. So an HIK prediction there. There is a lot of HIK here. So actually that is something to talk about, as HIK I think have a few numbers as well. As we look down on the group here, let's see. We do have iCat. Actually, wait, has it been whittled down? Joss Van as well. So there are two. So we've got the 2v2 out on course right now. We've got the WBR versus HIK. There's also some, let's see here. As far as teams go, I mean, Diner's out there, but he's not riding for, he can't win for the Dutch there. Templar now coming from Durham, another WBR boy here, Christopher Durham. Definitely a rider to watch out for out on courses anytime. Junior rider riding for the WBR, I believe, coming out of Great Britain. Been commentating on that guy for a couple of years now. Good to see you in the broadcast here, Christopher, for sure. And all black shirts, Sebastian is saying, for the HIK. Yeah, it's a great kit, actually, that you guys got going on there. As we can take a look, actually. If you push 3 and 0, you can get a good look of the back of the kits there. So this is a sweet look here. From the and then you can look at the first person point of view here, see who's riding around the rider, as I think one of the ones that we've been talking about under the radar here right ahead is going to be Palmagier. Definitely one to watch out for out on course today. T. Wensink Where did this rider come from? Oh, he's a lap. Okay, I think it was a lap rider. I was like, suddenly there's a new rider in and amongst the group here. Rung there at the front, coming out of Germany, and I have a feeling we're going to calm down. It's definitely calmed down out on course with 4.3 watts per kilogram coming from Run, just kind of keeping it steady. Tempo pace, 163 beats per minute or so. Coleman Twan, now yelling from Jelmer there. I'm not even sure what that's. Yo, Nathan, Mike, and Powell, good to see you. Hanging out over at the Face of the Book. Hanging out there in the broadcast. Always good to see you, Michael, for all of the broadcast. 151 now coming from Vanderplug now. And I think this is going to be one of the moments here in this final lap. It's a half a lap to go, 6 kilometers now at this point. They're going to be finishing this up actually, I think, under 110 now. And now where's the kick there? I'm waiting for an attack at this point, because this is a point where you can really, if you have that continuance, as I was saying, you will be able to break things apart now. Diner now going, and this is a rider to watch out for who's going to really disrupt things, I think, amongst the Dutch here. Puts out 7 to 6 watts per kilogram at the front now. No continuance, though, as you can see, 4.3 watts per kilogram. Nobody interested in really trying to break things apart at the front now. Wensink now falling off the back as he was a lapped rider, was just hanging in there and getting a draft like it looks like. P. Wolf now 176 beats per minute. Let's take a look at the heart rates and see how the riders are doing out on course today. According to Zwiftpower.com, 194. He's got about 20, a little less than 20 beats to work with. Definitely a little bit over threshold probably at this point. The highest heart rate we've seen from Rung is a 164. Dorsman maxing out, it looks like, I think it is like 190-ish for Dorsman, and he's up into 184, so definitely suffering at this point to hang on. We'll see if he can bring that back down before they hit the finish line. K. Palmagier now, he maxes out, it looks like, up into that 182 or so, and he's putting out 3.2, and so he's got about a little less than 20 to work with. A lot of these riders up into that high tempo, into threshold actually already, as they are just trying to hang on at this point. Nobody with a lot of interest to attack. I think they're all suffering pretty good. There are, it looks like, 13 riders for the win today. Actually, minus, though, out of that, it is going to be 1, 2, 3 riders. There's actually only 10 riders that can win the championship in this last half lap, actually. 10 riders amongst this group that can win the championship today out on course here. So let's see what's going to happen here as they make their way toward the Essies, and that's going to be the final kick. But I think we're going to see ourselves a sprint finish, boys and girls. How many aero power-ups have been reserved is going to be the question. They've probably been sitting on them for quite a long time. We do see it bumping into 409 watts, 413 watts from Rung here. Is there attack here coming? And the riders who are thinking, I think, that they want to make a break here are going to be the riders who are not sprinters at this point, because the riders at this point are probably thinking, I'm not going to be able to kick with these boys. How am I going to make this happen? Coming through this section, of course, there's not a lot of places to break things apart, so we're going to have to see some 15-second all-out cat and mouse attacks here if they think that they're going to be able to get away from these riders at any point who've got the kick. I think Templar, though, he may be the rider that I'm thinking about there, as I know we've seen him attack with about 3K to go, 2K to go, 1K to go. He's gone from way out, gotten a gap, and held it. This guy's got a crazy VO2 max effort. Let's see if he's going to throw it down again. I don't think Templar wants it to come down to a sprint. We'll have to see, though. The reserves are in. It looks like 156. He's got a lot of beats to work with out on course. So you're in Templar. There is a lot of predictions coming from the WBR. It's going to be him. But we also have HAK as well, saying, coming from Bastion, saying that the Waters Bazooka is coming from them. A nice, but some jitter on the stream. Yeah, we had a little bit of jitter on the stream there because of some clicking around on some of the software. Sorry about that, Edger. It looks like, let's make no mistake, this is real racing. This is super exciting and a great broadcast. Thanks, Nathan. No problem there, Kevin. Thanks a lot for stopping in and watching. And now here we go. There it goes with Diner. This is the move I was talking about, going from way out. They do not want to sprint. I don't think Diner wants anything to do with a sprint out on course, and that's why he's going into 8 watts per kilogram right now on this little 1% gradient. And as we see him out on that purple Tron bike there coming out of Germany, I have a feeling the Dutch might just let him go. And this may be an opportunity, actually, for some of the stronger riders to allow a gap to go out and then close it down with a crazy attack. And I think that's what Ernst is doing right now. That's exactly what he's thinking. He doesn't want any riders to go with him. He knows this is a moment of truth out on course. As they take this left-hand turn, there will be another little kick uphill, and they'll go downhill in this 1% gradient very momentarily, hold some speed, and then be able to kick again. If he can get back with Diner's wheel, he's going to go off the front and be able to win that championship right now, but Aaron's been following. He does have Cannon on the wheel now. It looks like Pamagier is there as well. Dalebout is following. Dorsman is there. Dalebout's just going to follow, though, at this point, being a teammate of the WBR here. He's going to sit in 5 watts per kilogram, try and hold on to the wheels as Templar has been caught. It looks like Diner now off the front with an aero power-up on this downhill, knows exactly where to use it on that native percent gradient. He hits 60 kilometers per hour, kicks again, and he is gone, boys and girls. And the Dutch, I think, at this point are going to go, let the German boy go, because it's all about the national championship. And unless they can close it, if Templar was able to close it down at that point and actually grab the wheel, it would have made sense to keep on trying. But he's been caught, and now he's got to sit in and try and find some reserves. He's up into that 169 beats per minute. He doesn't beat much higher, boys and girls. He's got about 20 beats to work with or so. Dalebout now from the WBR, 181. Here we go. Great championship. Thanks, Nathan. No problem, Tom Vissers. Good to see you. Yeah, it's just when I click over to the browser on the left-hand side over here for me, once in a while, there is a little bit of a jitter real quickly. So sorry about that, everybody. But once in a while, in order for me to get some information, for some reason my CPU doesn't like that. So we'll try and we are upgrading software actually in the next 2 days or so. So that will be gone. So back to the race though now with P. Diner here off the front. He's going to win the race outright. Maybe 7 seconds isn't a whole lot though. And there's a lot of motivated Dutchmen coming from behind here at only 8 seconds. Can he hold on to this kind of wattage all the way to the line? 175 beats per minute. Change my mind. Templar for the win. Serious beats left for the power he's putting out. James Maloney with the prediction right there. Whenever I bring you guys into the, as you saw right there, when I bring you guys in with the, social medias, a lot of times, sometimes that happens. So apologies about that, guys. Aaron's now here, 8.3 watts per kilogram. Pamagier now, and it looks like Templar's got 10 watts per kilogram. Aaron's now kicking it though into that 10 as well with an aero power up. Templar is going to have to throw down some serious effort to hang on to his wheel, and the aero power up might be the difference here for the win. 6 meters out, there's no draft, but Templar's got 9.7 watts per kilogram to give. It looks like he's going to get on terms. 2-second gap, and this is for the race win, I think, boys and girls. Are they going to sit and look at each other, or are they going to work? Diner now 6.7 off the front, but it's going to be between T. Ahrens and Jurgen Templar, it looks like, with 3 seconds. Will they work together, or will they look at each other and say, you go, you go? Who's going to take the pole? No, they're willing now at this point. 8 watts per kilogram, 7 watts per kilogram, coming from Templar, coming from Ahrens. This is for the win, boys and girls. 2 Dutchmen off the front now, as you can see, and they're almost catching back up the Diners, only 2 seconds up, and they want to win her outright. They don't want a German taking over control of this Dutch race out here today. Let's see if they can throw down and catch them, though, as Diners still 6.9 watts per kilogram, kicking again off the front. Templar now trying to get back on terms. He's going to do it. It looks like it is only 1 second. Now, ICAT coming from the HIK, grabbing onto Dorsman's wheel, and they're almost caught. No, it might be all for nothing as they've made this crazy attack, but look, Schmidt here now 177 beats per minute. They're doing everything they can. They've caught Templar at this point. Diner now still off the front, 6.2. He's thrown all of his chips on the table, and now it's only 1 second. I don't think it's going to hold out. And this entire time, Rung has been sitting in the rungs, waiting for the kick. This may be the sprinter's day, boys and girls, who's been on the wheels and able to sit in this entire time. Who's going to have the kick to the line? It's going to be Diner, and Schmidt now on Diner's wheel, and Schmidt may be playing his cards exactly right today as he gets on the Diner's wheel, and he's going again at 178 beats per minute. Schmidt now sitting on the wheel. Now Rung 3 seconds back. It looks like it's Kearns. There's no more power-ups. It looks like unless Templar has another one. He's at 5.8 watts per kilogram. Somebody's got to close it down now, or it's going to be Kearns for the race. And here comes, oh my goodness, Z-Power flying off the front. Has the aero power up. Now Templar saying, you're not taking my championship. Schmidt's 1 second off the front. It looks like your Templar is going to do it, boys and girls. It's a WBR for the win today in the Dutch National Championships. 180 beats per minute. The juggernaut is back. We've watched so many times in the spring. It looks like he may, and he just pulls it off just barely, followed by Rung. ICAT takes second, and I'm not sure on third for the Dutch, but what a race, boys and girls, and it will be Jurgen Templar, WBR National Champion for 2017, virtual national champion. Great job to Jurgen Templar. what a ride. And man, I thought it was over. Coming down that last little bit there into the sprint, he was off the back by 2 seconds. He kicks it with that. He took a slingshot at that last little bit. It was a slingshot from the pack and just ramped it up 9 watts per kilogram. And the other boys had gone too early, and all they had was 6 watts per kilogram left to give. And that was the race, boys and girls. As we look down at the peers here, we're going to go ahead and head back on over to the start-finish studio real quickly as we find the B race out on course. Not exactly sure where they're at. I think they're about 3 minutes back from the rest of the riders. We're going to definitely want to find them as they make their way to the finish line. 51K is what we're looking for, right around 50K for the rest of the Bs. And we will have an update here in just a moment as we click through to try and find the B races. We do have a C finish here, bringing it in actually. This may be the actual finish for the Cs. Let's go ahead and see real quickly here. I'm going to have to do some quick messing around with ZwiftPower.com here very quickly, but I may be able to figure out whether or not this is the front of the Cs or if they've already finished. I do not believe they have, so we might be able to find and cover the front of the C race actually. I didn't think, oh no, I'm sorry. There's a couple of Cs coming in, but it is going to be Joris and Dringa as well as Christian Lankman, followed by Samu Runderkamp in the C category. So for the B category then though, looking through here, we're going to be looking for R. Snatters, as well as Tunenberg and E. Moeller. As far as the A race goes, though, the win will go to Jens Tempegar, followed by Eidkat and Stefan Dorsman for the top 3 for your gold, silver, and bronze amongst the Dutch. Matthias Rung, though, as far as the overall, did sneak in there for a second place, though, behind Jens Templar coming out of Germany. Solid job to those guys out on course today. We are looking for the front of the Bs in the DNC race. I do actually have a spotting of A. Tolek, actually, pro rider coming out of the Netherlands, actually, out on course. Good to see him out there. UCI Pro official has the pro designation. We do have, it looks like, a few more A racers making their way to the line. We're going to have a nice little sprint here that we can show you. I did show it. I was out of the event module momentarily, but because I clicked on some A racers that were making their way to the line, we will have to wait up here for them to cross. And we'll actually get a nice little sprint, it looks like, between Vissers and PVV as they make their way to the line. This should be a nice little battle now. And it looks like it's going to be Vissers, 5.3 watts per kilogram, 181 beats per minute right now. And looking like he actually is not registered over at drippower.com, but we are seeing from him, we'll just have to wait for him to get across the line here. PVV, though, is, and he has, according to ZwiftPower.com, 4 races. And we'll see. Oh, there it goes. PVV with 9.2 watts per kilogram. He just kicked earlier, it looks like, is all that happened there. Vissers had more watts per kilogram to give, but PVV, oh, he kicked earlier but couldn't hold it off. Maybe went just a tad too early, and he instigated Vissers, who then crossed the finish line next, it looks like. And now looking through here, let's go ahead and click through and see if we can find the front of that B race. They should be coming through here pretty quickly. And let's just head back on over to the start studio as we go through and find those riders. I believe, according to ZwiftPower.com, they should be about, and now we're back within the A category, but that's fine. We can watch Tolhurst come across the line here in just a moment. A solid ride coming from Tolhurst. Going to be finishing, it looks like, within the top 20, I believe, as we've had 16 cross the line. Let's go ahead and go through the top 10 as we wait for Tolhurst to cross the line. Actually, it looks like he's trying to hold off Schultz and T. Hennepy. Wellner there as well as A. Grass. Solid battle here coming in from these riders who have a whole big group actually that are not a part of their race, actually bringing it in. I wonder if this is a part of the B race. I think the B race is actually happening right in front of us here, boys and girls. Here's an attack coming from who knows who, and we're not going to be able to follow it. Maybe A. Grass can follow it up there, but I think this is a few B riders making their way to the line, and we will be able to see in just a moment here who is going to be the winner amongst that group. Looks like Grass is up in the front. Hennepy, though, with an attack, 11 watts per kilogram, will get the better of this group. It looks like that was an HIK. Yep, and it was Tikat, it looks like, in the B category, followed by De Bruyn. Tikat, though, I believe, did win it. Stephen Tikat, I think, is streaming live right now over on Twitch, I believe. and he was a part of that lead group. I'm looking through here, and he definitely was. That was the lead group. We did just see them cross the line. I'll wait for an update here in just a moment as we do wait for zwiftpower.com. It should come through pretty quickly, and we'll be able to see exactly who took the win in that B category race. And to the line, Chandler said, congrats to Jurgens. That wattage, holy, coming from Gamelkorn. And well done to all who raced. That looks super intense for sure, Christopher. Thanks for jumping in here. Yes, Jurgens, Dutch national champion. Thank you so much, Oscar, for saying awesome commentary. Really appreciate it. What's your heart rate, Nathan? I should wear a heart rate monitor during the commentary. That would be pretty awesome, actually, and a lot of fun. Still waiting for the update for the B category. We do have some ODZ riders crossing the line. We do have a bunch of B category riders now just crossing the line. Jay Biger, who was in the lead for a while, riding for Team Experimental, getting a whole lot of ride-ons, it looks like, out there. A lot of ride-ons just stacked into the riders. As you can see here, let's go ahead and take a look through here. The riders just absolutely stacked with ride-ons. Nice Tron bike going for V. Hugo there from the WBR. Good to see him as these riders are cooling down. 143. We are seeing here roll-ups now just crossing the line. Looks like Fabricius as well. Wellner just crossing the line. Nice job to him. We'll give him a ride-on out of the Netherlands. All right, according to ZwiftPower.com, which has updated just now, it looks like for the win will be Steph de Bruin and Steven Titkat for the overall. But that is not for the championship. In the B category, in the championship, it was Rolf Snatters, actually, who took the W. Nice job to Rolf. Followed by Julian Biger. Second place, Team Experimental. We just saw him there. Takes the silver in the championship. And then it will be Melvin Wittenveen, it looks like, for the bronze. Out on course, I believe. Yep. So that is the order then for the B category. Let's go ahead and check out what's going on with the C and D category real quickly for the finish of our broadcast out here. In the C category, it will be, it looks like, and now these are preliminary results. You have to wait for the race officials, just so you guys know. So it will be officially announced, I would believe, by KNWU, as they are the officials who organized the race. But Joris and Dringa, followed by Christian Lankman, and then Samuel Runderkamp. Those are preliminary, and they are all getting upgrades. We do have a lot of upgrades, so all the way down to, it looks like, Lorenz Takima, followed by Bert Van Zandvoort, and then Carl Johan. So that would be the finishing order without the upgrades. In the D category, it looks like it will be Johan Karems, followed by Marcel Takken, and then Michael Van Son. But without any upgrades, it would be Rembrandt who took the win. Rembrandt Krut, followed by Ivo Vermesen, and then it would be Bart Kokiak. Kokok? I'm not sure if I got that one anyway correct whatsoever. I'm going to see if I can find any of the results for the women out on course. There were no women in the top of the A's. Looking through, I think your first woman across the line in the A category would be Aniek Ruderkirken. Nice job to Aniek. Great job out there. Old Hengel. Looks like would be the next rider amongst the women, would be taking second place amongst the A's and the B's overall. In the C category for the women, let's go ahead and look through if we can find any avatars. It does look like for the overall Jay Lee, but not out of the Netherlands. It looks like Manon van Deven amongst the women, and then Sonia Wassenberg, nice job for second place in the C category, followed by Sally Visser. Nice job to Sally Visser out there on course for third place in the C category with that bronze in the championships. Moving through here for the women, it looks like Lindy Gray for the overall coming out of the UK in the D category, and then it would be Alison Reevy, second place, followed by, but Nicole Smits will take the championship in the D category though, coming out of the Netherlands, followed by Daphne Goosens, and then Eric Wolf for third place for the bronze in the actual championships coming out of the Netherlands there. All right, boys and girls, we'll take one last look over at Watopia. We'll head back on over to Nathan's avatar here, and we do see some riders actually taking off from the pier. But from the pier over on Watopia, boys and girls, there it is. Nice job to everybody out on course. And as usual, you guys, that was just an amazing race. First inaugural Dutch National Championships. Great job to everybody. And, to everybody who got the championship, amazing job. But great job to everybody who showed up and got an amazing workout out there on course. And as usual, you guys, as always, thanks for tuning in. And a big, huge ride on to everybody. And we'll see you out for the next one. Cheers.